Bitcoin just hit new all-time high and the whole crypto market is going absolutely crazy. So I think it's a perfect time to make a short video about some altcoins I'm looking at the moment. And more specifically, why I think that AI altcoins are going to be really important in this bull market. I'm Andy and this is Crypto Like a Pro, a channel where I talk about everything crypto, NFTs and Web3 related. So first of all, well, you're probably aware that Bitcoin just hit its new all-time high. It barely hit it and for a very short period of time, but well, nonetheless, that's a new all-time high. And this moment actually makes history because this is the first time ever Bitcoin hit new all-time high before we even got to the halving. We still have probably about a month and a half, maybe a little bit more until the halving. And yet we are at new all-time high. So this shows that this market cycle will be definitely different than any cycle we had before, and potentially much more bullish. Of course, it's really hard to predict what will happen next because, well, we've never really been in this particular situation, but it's certainly a very, very bullish sign. So this should mean also really huge potential gains for altcoins. And I think AI-related altcoins are especially important here because although one big area I'm looking at is crypto gaming, I think that's where a lot of money will be going. I think AI is the next obvious choice, and arguably maybe that's even where more money will be made. Why I think so? Well, just look at Nvidia. This is price of Nvidia over the last couple of years. And when the whole ChatGPT AI craze started, that was in late or second half of 2022. So somewhere around here when Nvidia was trading just above $100, 115, 120, something like that. And look what happened after that, right? It hit at some point close to $900, around 880. It's now trading around 850. So it did comfortable 7 or 8x from the prices where it was about, well, just over a year ago, not even a year and a half ago. And this is a big cap stock, right? So imagine what can happen with small cap altcoins if we apply the sort of same logic to it. And yes, you can quite easily say that AI is, generally speaking, overvalued at this point, but that doesn't really matter. I mean, that's true for pretty much all of crypto. Let's make one thing very, very clear. I'm extremely bullish on crypto and blockchain technology in the long term. I think there will be a lot of really good, strong use cases, and I think it will revolutionize it will revolutionize pretty much everything, especially whole digital economy. But I think we are still about 3 to 5 years away from that point. At the moment, if you are investing in crypto, you are trading narratives and you are trading hopes and dreams, essentially. You are speculating. There are very few projects which have real world use cases. And yeah, basically, if you want to invest in crypto because there is some proper use case behind that particular token, well, you have very few tokens to trade. And in reality, you should probably come back to this market in the next 3 or 5 years or buy a little bit and hope that, well, it will reach that point when it's actually useful about 5 years from now. If you're in the market now, if you want to make money in this bull run, which will probably last next 18 to 24 months, you have to be aware that, well, most of those projects probably will not reach their full potential. So essentially you want to get in, make your money and get out. And then you can come back to those projects later on or leave a little bit so it can grow over time. But basically don't get attached to it. Don't invest in the technology hoping that it will do God knows what, because we're not quite at that point yet. So that's why I'm not really bothered about the whole AI is overvalued and so on narrative, because yeah, it is. And yes, that's also true for pretty much all of crypto. That's just how this game works, right? All of that aside, I think AI is going to be huge. Like I said, it's very, very clear that that's where a lot of money will be pouring in. And that's what we're doing in this space. We're trading narratives. We're trying to see what people are talking about, especially what like the overall sentiment in the market, in the news is, and also what, well, let's be honest, what big influencers are talking about, because they have enough following, enough power for money to go into that direction and basically just follow that, right? because big institutional money is not going to invest in some random small cap altcoins. That's going to be retail who will do that. And these people will be looking for information on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and so on. So just see what people are talking about. Pick your favorite projects from those narratives and invest in that. It's really that simple. By the way, none of that is, of course, in investment advice. You have to make your own choices in this space. I will tell you what I'm looking at or what I'm investing in and why, but this doesn't mean that this is the right strategy for you. And this is also why I don't really talk on this channel about projects in a lot of detail. I may do it from time to time, but generally I want you to do your own research. If you're investing in something, you should know why you're doing this, what this project is about, and whether that works for you or not. I can tell you a couple of things why I'm interested in particular projects, but again, it doesn't mean that this is also the right strategy for you. Before I start talking about specific altcoins, I just wanted to point out one thing. We are at a very weird moment in the market cycle. Like I said, Bitcoin just hit its new all-time high. And on one hand, that's great. But if we look at the chart, it's also very, very clear that we got rejected from this level, right? So previous all-time high was around 69,000. The exact price will change a little bit depending on what exchange you look at, but it's, let's call it 69K. Bitcoin just reached its new all-time high just before that. That's against the US dollar. It actually reached its new all-time high against many other major currencies like Canadian dollar or euro, I think yesterday or day before yesterday. But yeah, we're looking mainly at US dollars here. So yeah, it hit new all-time high. It got rejected from that level. Not only that, straight away, we had this big red candle and actually the price dipped around 5%. It partially recovered already, but nonetheless, it's important to know that new all-time high is great, but what may happen next is actually a bit of a pullback and then a proper climb up, right? That's really, really important, especially if you consider also crypto fear and greed index. We are in extreme greed territory, very close to 100. If you even look at the Bitcoin rainbow chart, we are already in this yellow band. And okay, that's hodl band, so you could think, oh yeah, that's all good. But bear in mind that those amplitudes are getting smaller and smaller. I don't think we'll see market cycle peak in those dark red bands. I think we'll peak somewhere in the orange one or maybe even light orange. So what I'm trying to say is that it's very, very likely that we'll have some sort of a major pullback soon. I may be completely wrong. I've been expecting it for quite a while, and so far I've been wrong. The price has been going up like crazy. But sooner or later, it has to correct, right? And, 10% dip at this point is close to $7,000. 20% dip, which is still something very, very sensible and normal and regular in crypto, would take us down from 70K back to about 56, somewhere around here, right? So don't be surprised if that happens. And of course, if that happens, altcoins will get hit really hard. The other possibility is that this candle will be eaten up by the end of the day or over the next couple of days, and then we'll actually go above that all-time high or that 69K level, and then just continue going up. If that happens, we are in a completely uncharted territory. First of all, Bitcoin is going to God knows what. Second, like I said, we didn't even have halving yet, so we cannot really expect or predict how the price will behave. But essentially, the market will be extremely, extremely bullish. Equally, if we do have a pullback, don't be surprised if a lot of people will overreact and think that this was it, and basically it's all one big scam and we're done and Bitcoin is going to zero. That's generally how the market works. If everyone is really bullish and the price comes down, well, everyone overreacts, and the other way around. So that's a really long way of saying that if you're buying altcoins now, you should be very, very careful. It makes sense to buy a little bit. I bought a little bit of OPSEC yesterday, for example. I don't think it was the best possible time to buy it, but I thought, well, I would rather have something and be ready in case if the price keeps going up rather than miss out on it. At the same time, I wouldn't deploy all the capital I have because, like I said, the likelihood of a pullback is very, very high. So yeah, basically just stay safe, make moves, but don't do anything crazy. At least that's how I see it. Anyway, what tokens I'm looking at and why? Well, first of all, if you look at CoinGecko on AI coins, the total market cap, and that's not very accurate, but it is some sort of guideline, is $20 billion, right? If you look at the total market cap of crypto, that's $2.5, $2.6 trillion. More importantly, if you look at individual coins, even something like Dogecoin or Shiba Inu is around 20 billion. And why I picked those coins? Well, those were created as meme coins. They were not supposed to have any value, any use case, anything. They were essentially created as a joke. And if a coin like this can hit market cap, which is already higher than the market cap of all of AI altcoins, and if you look at all-time price and market cap, it actually hit about 90 billion at some point. So about 4.5 times the current market cap of all of AI coins, just one token. Well, that kind of gives you an idea how much this space can grow, right? If a meme coin can go up to 90 billion, then there is no need why those tokens cannot go into multi-billion dollar valuations or tens of billions of dollars even. So how then I pick projects within this space? Well, you should do your own research. You should know why you're investing in those projects. But I picked 4 of them as examples. So the first couple of projects I want to talk about are projects which have been around for a while. If we do look at the full chart here, as you can see, Render has been around since 2020. So it's a well-established project, which generally is what I like to look at. Projects which have been around for a while, which had this nice pump in the previous bull market and are now going back up again, because I can see that, okay, well, then they have potential to reach that peak or even go higher. One issue with Render is that it already actually hit new all-time high a couple of days ago. So it's kind of a little bit like with Bitcoin, right? It's fairly certain that it will go higher, but we don't know how high because we are in this uncharted territory. Also, the market cap is quite high, 2.6 billion. Of course, it can still grow a lot, but essentially, if you're investing in something like this, well, that's relatively safe project, big established project, which has been around for a while. Personally, not something I would be buying in. I'm looking for something that has much more potential for growth, but also is much more risky. Well, I'm not looking for risk, but I'm aware that the risk comes with that potential for growth. So personally, I'm skipping this one, but it's not a bad project to look at if you're interested in AI altcoins. Similar with Akash Network. Again, if you look at the max, that's actually much nicer because it was around, I think, $8 or 7 something. Now it pulled back to just above 4. So you know that this can pretty much double from the current price and very likely go way, way above that. And also this one has market cap and fully diluted valuation pretty much identical, which is also something I tend to look at. It's not the main thing I would consider, but it's certainly amongst them. I prefer when these two numbers are very, very close because I know that there won't be a huge number of tokens dumped at some point onto the market. So if I was looking for a project that's been around for a while, in this case since 21 or even late 2020, established project with large market cap, but still a nice potential for growth, that would be probably my choice. A couple of other projects I'm looking at are this one, which is pretty much the exact opposite. It's only been around for a bit over a year, but it has quite nice. It had quite nice price action over this time because basically it was launched in deep bear market in 2023. And it's been pretty consistently going up. I mean, of course, it had its dips, But overall, that's quite an impressive price action for a token that was launched during bear market. Market cap is relatively low, 270 million, and fully diluted valuation is identical, which is great to see. So this is certainly something I would be looking at if that market cap is not too high for you. Personally, I'm looking for something with even smaller market cap, but if you're looking for that sort of low to mid range, so about 300 million, that's, from my point of view, a great project to consider. Of course, one thing that's potentially worrying is the fact that it pretty much tripled in price over the last few weeks, but that will be true for many other projects. A lot of projects had this big pump. This is a small cap altcoin, so it moves quite fast, but potentially I would be looking for a pullback here. But at the same time, like I said, we are in this really weird moment in the market where anything is possible, so it can just continue going up. But certainly something I'm still considering for my portfolio, but I don't hold it at the moment. Finally, a project which I actually bought a couple of days ago, or yesterday in fact, and that's OPSEC. This one is a very, very new project. It was only launched in January this year, so only a couple of months. Nice price action, but then you would expect nothing else really, right? Because it was only just launched. So it didn't have that whole bear market to go through. It didn't have opportunity to have those big dips. Bitcoin's been really strong this year so far, so I would expect nothing else than generally going up in price like this. Of course, what's slightly worrying here is that its current price is pretty much its all-time high, so we don't know how much potential this has. It's not like, let's say, Akash or the projects I often talk about in this channel, which did really well in the previous bull market and now are still like 70 or 80% down, where I know that, okay, there's a ton of room for growth. This is something different. It's a project in its early stages and we don't know how much it will grow. But that being said, low market cap, around 160 million. Fully diluted valuation, very similar to market cap, even though this is still a young project, so that's great because that doesn't mean rewind. Usually when a project is quite young, it means that there is still a lot of tokens which will be released to the market at some point in the future, right? Tokens which are locked because they belong to the dev team or to the marketing team and so on. And then basically when those tokens are released, well, you have to be aware that people who got them, they got them either at a massive discount or for free or basically as part of their payment. So essentially they are likely to sell it at pretty much whatever price because it's pure profit for them. This is not the case when market cap and fully diluted valuation is the same or almost the same. It basically means that there are hardly any more tokens to be released, so you don't have to worry about suddenly a lot of people dumping their tokens and the price going down because of those tokens being released, right? The price can still go down, of course, because of the normal market fluctuations, but that's a whole separate thing. So back to why I like this project. Well, relatively low market cap and fully diluted valuation are pretty much the same. What I don't like is the fact that, well, we are pretty much buying on an all-time high if we buy it now. But at the same time, project released in early stages of a bull market. If the AI narrative continues, that will go up regardless of anything. People will be dumping their money into pretty much everything they can find. So I don't see any reason why it wouldn't do really well. And project like this, with this kind of market cap, can easily do 10 or 20x, right? When you investing in something like Akash or Render, you have to be aware that, yes, it can still do 10x or maybe even 20x if there will be a ton of money pouring into this space. But, well, that would take literally billions and billions of dollars going into single project for that to happen. With smaller projects like this, you only need hundreds of millions for it to happen. And it may sound ridiculous when I say only hundreds of millions, but again, at the moment, we are still in the early stages of a bull run and crypto market cap is 2.5 trillion. it will probably go up to 5-6 trillion in this bull run, maybe even higher than that. So, in all this mass of money, few hundred million is really not much. Again, meme coins can reach valuations of billions of dollars. So why projects which actually have much more utility behind them couldn't do the same, right? And meme coins reach those valuations purely based on the narrative. Well, if the narrative is AI and gaming, all those projects would pump like crazy. So that's how I see it. Now, if you are new to crypto and you are interested in investing in altcoins, but you're not entirely sure where to start, how to even find those altcoins, how to buy them, because most of those tokens, you won't find them on the big crypto exchanges. They are too small or too new to be there. I mean, something like Akash or Render, yes, they will be listed on many exchanges, but OPSEC and many other small cap altcoins, the ones which have the most potential for growth, you have to buy them through something like Uniswap, so the centralized exchange. If you're not sure how to deal with all this stuff, you can check out my course, Crypto Like a Pro. It's a very comprehensive course, 16 hours of videos, absolutely everything you need to know about crypto. But actually, you don't even have to go that far. You can just get my Intro to Crypto course, which is only $29. And basically, it's like an hour and a half, and it contains absolutely everything you need to get started with altcoins. Essentially, what's the difference between Bitcoin and altcoins, and then how you find altcoins, how to buy ETH on an exchange, how to transfer it to your wallet, how to set up that wallet in the first place, and then how to connect that to Uniswap and buy all those smaller cap altcoins. So literally everything you need to get started with altcoins for $29. No brainer. Basically, I created a course which I wish I had a few years ago when I was starting with altcoins, because it would make my life so much easier back then. But anyway, that's it from me for today. I hope you found this video interesting. If you have any thoughts, comments, ideas, please put them in the comment section. If you enjoy those videos, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.